In today's video, I want to share with you a couple of my tips, findings and remarks regarding Sony FX30 that I've been using for quite some time now. This is not step-by-step user's guide. I will mostly focus on how this camera behaves while setting up the exposure. I want you to be aware of it, especially when you're a beginner creator. Hopefully that video will prevent you from ruining your shots. Let's start with auto settings. So let me set iris to manual and ISO I will set to auto. It should be easier to follow that way and focus only on ISO. I will set picture profile 11, which is the S-Cinetone. Very decent, not log profile. If you're not into grading, you can even use it as it is and it will look very good. Okay, so let's see what the camera is actually doing. Are we safe in auto settings regarding the exposure? As I mentioned, picture profile 11 is not log, so we need to be very careful to not overexpose the shot. In my opinion, the best way to monitor it is Zebra tool. Let me enable it, but we need to configure it properly. You can do it by pressing function button, go to Zebra level, scroll down to custom 2, choose lower limit and set it to 100 plus. Yeah, I know, it's too high, but bear with me here. As you see, in auto mode, there are quite some zebras, which means the level in these areas are higher than 100. What it means is we've lost data there, and there is nothing we can do in post. Don't know why, but auto settings does not prevent from overexposing the image so that we lose highlights. To correct it, just switch back to manual. So we're still in picture profile 11, but we'll take care of the zebras ourselves. So let me decrease the ISO until zebras are gone, somewhere around here. And now all the highlights should be preserved. You can even decrease the limit to maybe 95 to not be so near 100 and have more margin for exposure mistakes. So the conclusion is, don't trust auto settings, especially when you're dealing with highlights. Also, in auto settings, the multimeter is always showing 2.0 value, which is useless of course, so we need to back up with zebras or histogram. I digress. If you want to shoot in S-Log free and use auto settings, the situation is better but not ideal. The auto settings combined with S-Log 3 is not crushing the highlights as it does with picture profile 11, but as you probably already know, S-Log 3 likes to be overexposed. Its dynamic range is wide enough to deal with overexposed shot and at the same time deals better with shadows. So let's set flexible ISO, because only in this mode you can use auto ISO settings, and set ISO to auto. If you press and hold ISO button, you can switch between auto and manual. The same applies to iris and shutter speed. A quick tip if you didn't know. Okay, so we're in auto ISO, S-Log 3 and log shooting set to flexible ISO. One more thing, according to many sources, lower limit for S-Log 3 should be set to 94. Let me set it now. Okay, at first glance all looks okay, no zebras, so no picking, data is not lost. Let me go back to lower limit settings. I will decrease it gradually and see when the zebras starts appearing. So we are way below the max save value, which is 94. So the conclusion is the image is correctly exposed, but as mentioned before, S-Log 3 performs better when we slightly overexpose it. And by slightly, I mean below value 94. So what I'm gonna do is set back value 94 and increase the exposure using ISO until we start seeing zebras. Okay, we're there. I will go back one step. Now we are sure that the S-Log 3 is correctly exposed. For this example, I'm using ISO setting, which is not perfect. In real-life scenario, better idea would be open aperture or add more light to the scene. Anyway, I just wanted to show you how auto settings exposes the shot in S-Log 3. One more remark, don't be fooled by the LUT S709 while exposing using Zebra tool. Let me show you. If I apply S709 LUT, the zebras will appear much sooner. In this example, we know that the ISO 6400 is the correct one, but if I want to monitor camera display with the LUT S709, the zebras are back there. So that can be confusing. So it's better to observe zebras with no LUT, and once the image is correctly exposed, then you can apply a LUT if you wish. Of course, the LUT is not affecting the final recording. This is just a preview. And last but not least, especially for unexperienced users, if you're shooting using base ISO 800 or 2500, don't be fooled by the fact that you can adjust the ISO while shooting. Let me show you what I mean. Base ISO is available in Cine AI and Cine AI Quick mode, so I'm gonna choose one of them, and let's say we want to use low base ISO 800. Okay, all set. Now you realize it's underexposed, so you want to increase ISO, for instance. Great, it works, but actually not great, because the final footage is recorded with ISO 800. So you'll end up with underexposed shots anyway. Let me quickly prove it to you. Start recording. And maybe another test with ISO cranked down. Now let's see what's recorded. And here it is. You can already tell by the thumbnails that the ISO is the same for both clips. Okay, that would be it for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Check out my Coffee page shop. Cheers and see you in the next one.